Welcome to Lead Like a Girl, where we are empowering everyday women through our stories. I'm your host, Jessica Smith, and I began this journey by sharing my life story. Now, I've joined forces with my longtime friends, Jamie and Corlin, to keep this party going. We met many years ago as young sales girls in our 20s, driven and quickly rising to the top of our industry. As the years went on, life happened, and we all found ourselves in new companies and completely different industries, still striving for success in it all. Career, family, faith, fun. Now, it wasn't easy, but we never stopped moving. Get ready for our real conversations, inspiring stories, and our big life lessons as we share it all. The good, the bad, and the funny. Welcome to Lead Like a Girl.
Well, hello. I'm Jamie, and welcome to Lead Like a Girl. I'm here with my two great friends, Corlin and Jessica. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Listeners don't know this, but I did get to see these lovely faces just yesterday. How are you guys? How was the last 24 hours?
It was great. Super Bowl was great.
Jessica's lying.
She is lying. We talked for about 10 minutes before this, so yeah, no, she's...
Yeah.
But maybe we need to make like an after hours Lead Like a Girl, or the stuff that you don't want to say, just all the, or is that what we do right now?
That's happening. That's real time.
Is that happening now? Okay.
It's real time. I don't know about you guys, but I did not watch the end of the Super Bowl last night. I was probably in bed by 8:45. I don't know.
Honestly, I didn't watch any of it, so I'm just totally. I didn't watch the halftime show. I didn't watch any of it.
Okay. How about you, Cor? Did you?
I
what time
watched
did your
the
guest
whole
sleep?
thing.
Okay.
Yep, I watched the whole thing. I stayed up too late, woke up too early.
All right.
Just talking sports in general, I actually like watching sports. It sounds kind of dumb, but I also feel like I wasn't super excited to tune in for the Super Bowl because I'm not vested in the Chiefs or the Eagles, but it actually was a pretty good game because I was secretly rooting for the Eagles to win if I had to pick one because the Chiefs had already won a couple times, and so
Why was it secret? That's why Will said he was surprised that you guys. He said he would expect your whole house to be like total Chiefs.
Us?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious why he says that.
I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't ask. I just thought I was like.
Well, I'm a Vikings fan, so everything else is just lower class.
That's funny. I don't mind basketball, and I think I've gotten a little used to it just because I use it as like time to spend with the husband, and that's what he likes to do. But I'm not like, I haven't been vested in like sports. Probably I'm going to age myself here, but since Michael Jordan and the Bulls, I mean, outside of that, or the Warriors in California. Outside of that, I don't know. It's just boring.
That was a good era, though. That was like Scottie Pippen.
Yes,
Yeah.
It was so fun, though. It was just fun. It's exciting.
What's hilarious is that I was flying through Chicago, and I can't remember where I was going. Maybe it was to meet you. I don't really remember, but I was walking through the Chicago airport, and I kid you not, I had my little suitcase, and I'm walking through, and there's tons of people everywhere, so I'm not really paying attention to much. And all these people are walking towards me, and they're giving me a head nod, and I'm like, hi. I'm like, I didn't really think Chicagoans are like super friendly, but there were so many people. They were like giving me a head nod and like kind of waving, and I'm like kind of waving back, and I'm so confused because I don't recognize anybody. Like why would I know anybody from Chicago? And then all of a sudden I look up and there's this giant black man in front of me, and then some guy is like, "What's up, Scotty?" And I look up and I'm like, my gosh, like I've been walking behind Scottie Pippen the entire time, and these people are not saying hello to me; they're saying hello to him, and I'm just like in his shadow.
That's
like,
hilarious.
Yeah, I kid you not, I legit thought everyone was saying hello to me.
And you're like, wow, I know they were friendly in the South, but I didn't know about Chicago like this.
I know it was.
Yeah, no, we're actually complete opposite, like total rude asses. But anyway, that's funny.
For a minute, you were on top of the world.
I know. Yeah. I thought, wow, this is it. I've arrived.
I thought you were Jennifer. What's her name? Jennifer Aniston. That's what they thought.
Also arriving.
Yeah. I can die now. I can die happy.
All right, we're way off
Good.
topic.
All right. Yeah, we're way off topic. Let's get into it. Okay. Thank you everybody for listening to us. If you're inclined to see our faces, you can see us on YouTube. You can listen to us on all of the Spotify, Amazon Music, anything you can listen to a podcast on, you can listen to us on. You can follow us on Facebook. You can click on a link right on our Facebook post and see us that way. So we love it. We love all the comments. We love all the everybody telling us that they're listening. It's awesome. I just had a work thing a couple weeks ago and a couple of people told me that they were listening. I did freak out a bit because they were, like leadership team. And I'm like, what?
Which
one?
All right.
First
Well,
question.
they learned to listen
Exactly.
to.
Which one did So had to go back and make sure I didn't say anything.
Exactly.
Like,
That's why you've been
really
trying to get
dumb.
out of this micromanaging episode we're going to do here soon.
No.
We're going to get that in. Don't worry, guys.
It's all good. It's all good. So we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but our topic today is very timely. So this weekend, I stepped completely out of my comfort zone.
You did.
I did. So I did something this weekend that I have never done in my life. So my significant other, my boyfriend, has been skiing, snow skiing, and he likes to do that. I've never done it in my life. So for his birthday, I bought him a weekend away to ski. And well, turns out I'm terrible at skiing.
First of all, can we just talk about this? Let's be total stereotypical here. Let's just for fun. Like, who skis? Seriously. Like who
You would
does?
not, many people.
I feel like it's a rich people thing, y'all. I'm really pretty sure.
Well,
You know what? The diversity of people that I saw skiing was very refreshing and amazing and awesome. I have all walks of life. I honestly could not believe how many children I saw, but just everything, every type of person you could ever imagine was skiing. All of them were better than me. All of them, 100% of them. When I say I fell down just standing there, I am not exaggerating.
You're not just standing there. I mean, you had skis. Well, there you go. Yeah.
And I
those
really
aren't
think-
just like shoes.
Yeah. No, I did fall over just standing there a couple of times. Yeah. So I'm terrible at it. But I was totally out of my comfort zone. I fell flat on my face, fell on my butt many times. So it just got me thinking, oh my gosh. And I fully expected to be good at it. I actually thought I'm gonna go down that big hill the first time. I did not.
Yeah.
I went down a tiny hill and I couldn't even do that. So anyway, I think the three of us, because of our past position that we've had in common, I think we're probably a bit of an anomaly because we've probably been in situations that most people are probably out of most people's comfort zone. I looked it up today, and of course you get lots of information from the internet, but most things said that, or most articles said that the top three things that are out of people's comfort zones are public speaking, heights, and bugs. Would you guys, I don't know if you researched that, but
yeah.
Public speaking, heights, and bugs. And public speaking was the one that kind of popped in my head. What do you guys think? If you had to guess, what do you think the top few things would be? I mean, that's just a couple of things off the internet, but there were many, many, many things. What would you say?
Well, I know that public speaking, there's things that I've read that people would rather like jump out of an airplane or like die than to public. And that is crazy to me, right? But heights, I don't do heights, and I don't do bugs. I don't do snakes. I don't do water.
Somebody needs to go out of their comfort zone.
I don't jump in the
go
ocean,
outside?
jump off of boats. I don't climb mountains. I don't. Yeah. So I think
what we're saying, listeners, is we're actually talking about this for Jessica.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going to get Jessica outside.
Yeah.
It's an intervention.
Yeah. I don't go outside of I do go outside of my comfort zone, but not in that area. And when you said, I don't want to jump ahead. The question was, what do we think that those things are? And I think heights and bugs are very believable to me, as well as public speaking.
Yeah.
Corlin.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are big ones, but I was thinking while you were talking, I mean, I think putting on a new outfit is pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. I think that speaking up in a room when you're not in alignment with the popular opinion, that's out of your comfort zone. I think trying out a new lipstick is I mean, it's just like, I think that anything that puts you out of your normal walk of life that you kind of set it and forget it and decide you're going to go against the grain and something like I'm looking at my wall over here and it is navy blue. And I think that pushed me out of my comfort zone because my upstairs house is all like really light gray. Like it's just, and so there's this pop of color. And so I think that's, there's a lot of different things I think that we can, because I think when people are trying to grow, thinking of like, oh, I got to go jump off a building, or I got to go get in front of 100 people and speak, like those are really big things. But I think that if we're trying to grow baby steps, maybe just start with something little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good point, because I think about, wow, I mean, almost 20 years doing the same thing. So I remember thinking about coming into corporate America and doing anything different was so scary. Like it just seemed to be the scariest thing in the world. And now, I've every 2 or 3 years, I just get up and do something new. And I think that's out of my comfort zone, very much so, because I like to master what I'm doing. And I kind of, as long as I'm still learning and growing, I like to just stay. And we thought that meant you were loyal, and that's just what you do. So, and I'm getting out of my comfort zone as we speak now. So,
Well, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah,
Well,
that's definitely.
And it's kind of a fear of failure in a way, right? Because it's like anything that you don't feel comfortable with, it's that fear of like, what if I mess this up? What if I do this and I fall flat on my face, And you do sometimes, right? So I was looking at a few quotes today, and one of them was from Amy Poehler, and there were a couple of them that I jotted down because I thought this ties in exactly with what I was thinking. But one of them that she said, great people do things before they're ready. And that sentence alone that to me was what I thought of when you get out of your comfort zone. It's like, I'm not ready to do this.
Right.
But
even more reason to do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, because we always look for the perfect time, right? I think it's like, oh, well, I'm going to wait until this happens, or I think when this happens, I'll do this. And it's, Corlin, I think you said that to me the other day. It's like, it's never the perfect time. So just freaking do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a situation that came up recently, and I want to ask you two, which kind of what your go-to, or what's your default, I guess, what would you normally do in this situation? And when you're in a new environment or a new situation, let's say, and you don't know what to do. Maybe it's something where you are trying a new sport, or you're trying a new activity, or maybe it's something where you're at a new restaurant, you're at a new networking thing, you're at a new job, whatever, it's your first day. Something that you don't know, you literally don't know what to do. Do you go in and kind of fake it till you make it? Do you go in and just, pretend you know what you're doing? Or do you go in and fess up? Like, I'm new, I don't know what I'm doing. What should I do? What's your route?
I've situational. All of those examples that you gave might elicit a different response from me. But I say let's just take the networking situation. Like I've done, especially over the last year, try to put myself out there and get uncomfortable in network. And probably at least once a month, I'm in a room of people that I don't know anybody. And I just go in, and I don't want to say fake it, but I just go in as confidently as possible. Like, head back, looking at the crowd, like not looking at my phone, and looking around to see who my next, like, this is not a room of strangers. These are all friends I haven't met yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. I think my default is fake it. I mean, yes, I think there's times where I do different, but that's probably my default, is just fake it till you make it. Figure it out, and it'll come to you. And it usually does. So that usually works out for me.
Yeah. I discovered about myself that I tend to go the other route. What I've found is in a lot of situations, I end up getting a little bit better, a little farther by walking in and just kind of fessing up right there at the beginning and saying, I've never done this before. What should I do? I was in a situation recently where I had to do a presentation in front of a leadership group, and I didn't have any direction. I literally didn't. It was like I had the information. I knew what I needed to say, I needed to present in terms of the information, but I didn't know, no one had told me how to present it. It was a PowerPoint, but it was like, is this a question and answer? Is this, I'm standing in front of the room? Like what are we doing? And I stood in front of the room. I was given the choice between sitting down or, whatever. And I'm not kidding. I said, what do I do? What do you want me to do? Because I did not know what I was supposed to do. I was like, what do you want me to do? Am I talking? Am I standing, sitting, talking? Do I have a PowerPoint? Do you have a stick? Do I have
you have
anybody got a pointer? So it was just, yeah. So I just think
and it worked out.
It did. It worked out. And I, like I said, kind of at the beginning, I think we're a little bit of an anomaly because, in past position, all three of us had the same position, and quite literally we met someone new every single day. Every single day. We had 10 or 15 minutes to meet a total stranger and get them to like us and trust us every day. And do a 45-minute presentation, public speaking in front of a group of people almost every day.
Did I mention we were on a tightrope also up a high? So just check that one off the box. We were on a tightrope. And I'm just kidding.
Juggling something on fire.
While you're talking, Jamie, so we've talked about this a little bit. In my full-time role, I lead volunteer groups a lot. In that scenario, I generally default to, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, we're on job sites and I'm with guys and girls for that matter, but mostly guys who are kind of weekend warrior, and we are doing a home improvement project. We're building a deck, we're installing windows, we're doing doors. And quite legitimately, I can't fake it till I make it because I don't know how to install a door.
Yeah.
Or
you should by now.
But like I'm just thinking at the top. But what the interesting thing about when I feel like when I am honest and walk in and say, hey, you know what, I don't have my head wrapped around exactly how this is going to play out. What it does is, one, is it makes me more human, right? Because then you don't, like, just like most people, you don't have all the answers. But then also what it does is it lets everybody else in the group step up and take ownership of the direction of where we're going. And I think that is a great outcome when we can not walk into the room and pretend like we know exactly what we're doing 100% of the time. That a group dynamic is improved when we all can admit that we don't always.
I was going to say, be vulnerable.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, and I'm getting ready to step into, and I'll talk more about this on another episode, but I'm getting ready to step into a whole new career path, doing something completely different. And I've played this in my head literally probably a million times. And I just found out about this last week. That's my approach is going to be, I'm going to have a team where I'm not going to know anything about what they're doing, and I'm there to lead them. That's even more uncomfortable. And that's what I've been doing in the last couple of roles. And that's what I hope to continue to do. And to your point, Corlin, I think that, that's going to, I'm going to be able to be vulnerable and say, listen, I'm leaning on you guys. Like I don't know anything about what you guys are doing here, but I'm here to learn, and I'm going to lean on you to learn, and then be able to at least show them whatever I'm bringing to the table. But I want to back up a little bit and just make sure that we talk about, like, why is this even important? Like, why should people go out of their way to go out of their comfort zone? And if so, why? Why is it important?
Yeah. I read an article today. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it. It was from Forbes. It was like 16 reasons why you should get out of your comfort zone. And one of them I thought was, they're all good, but one of them in particular, there were two I loved the most, but one said, no one's really paying that much attention to you. And I thought, you're right. It's really in your head, but it's like, you might feel a little bit self-conscious or nervous, but like no one's really, the whole world, you might feel like everybody's watching you, but it's just you. So, kind of keeping that in the back of your head, but also like sometimes you might come across people who they might not have as much talent as you, or they might not, come across, maybe they're not as polished as you, but they're doing it. And you think, what? Yes, I should be doing that. Like that person's doing it. Why am I not doing that?
Yeah.
It's just you grow. That's how you learn. You can fall on your face, but you learn and you grow and you learn, whether even if you fail, you learn something about yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, but I'm sorry, you guys go ahead. Why do you think?
No, and I think that's my why is that we are losing out on so much opportunity in life because of fear. And if we're not intentionally putting ourselves in situations where we're stepping out of our comfort zone, then we're not growing. You might think you're growing
Mhm.
because you just learned a new recipe from TikTok, but that's not growth. So I think that's the biggest thing is that if you really want to stretch yourself and grow, and I think with growth gives you opportunity, and
Mhm.
with that opportunity gives you a better quality of life, and you just don't know what you're missing out on without it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Now, have you guys, what I know we talk about empowering everyday women with our stories. What have you experienced in your lives? What times have you experienced in your lives where you have come out of your comfort zone and been able to either learn something from that situation, grow from that situation? Maybe it's been a success or maybe it's been a failure. Tell me about some experience you've had.
Well, I just gave you my example, which is in the last, 7 years, I've had 5 different roles and soon to be 6 different roles. And it's like, just after a couple years, I'm just like, okay, I want to learn something new. And every single time there's this voice that tries to talk me out of it because it's not easy and it is scary. This year, I'm sorry, last year, 2024, I did something where I took on being a leader in our youth ministry. And that's not something I would have ever done. First of all, I don't even like kids like that. I don't even understand how I have 3, but maybe that's why it took me 10 years to have each one. But kids are just not really my thing. And, to volunteer with kids and church people. I am sorry, y'all. I do not like church people. And all of a sudden, I'm
That's
like,
aggressive.
I don't. And Corlin's a church person, by the way, y'all. So not except Corlin. I love her. No, but here I am, like in the church, volunteering, leading leaders of like everything about that was uncomfortable for me. And I didn't plan it and I wasn't intentional about getting out of my comfort zone. I was there, the opportunity presented itself, and then I was like, and I'm not comfortable doing this. And then I said, well, that's the reason you should do it. And I did it, and I learned so much about myself. And I also learned that I could not cuss in church. So that was cool too. So it was a
That's
lot.
self-control.
There was so much. And also that I had a lot of stuff that I had to offer these kids, not just about, being an adult and professional networking and all that stuff that I love talking about, but just talking about the struggles that I had as a kid. And then I thought I didn't have anything to offer a bunch of kids that grew up in the church, and I did. So I learned a lot about myself. I stepped outside of my comfort zone, and I feel like I was able to give something back to the kids too. So I'm glad I did it. And yeah, that was an example of my last year's get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. I was thinking when I was I would say in my 20s, I've always been a little bit of a serial wantrepreneur. Like
I love
I
that
love
so
that.
much.
Right. Did you just come
Right?
up with that? Cool.
No, that's a
That's
thing.
the
That's
best
a
thing
thing.
I've heard
Somebody
today.
Oh,
said it.
okay,
I'm
it's a
like,
thing.
that's me. I have started many a business that's, and what kind of sticks out in my head is I started a spray tan business when I was in my 20s, and I just had thought I had went in and I had got a spray tan because I did all this reading that like being out in the sun is horrible for you, but I also do not want a pasty white body at the beach. So dilemma number 1. And so
Love it.
I did all this research and I bought a spray tan machine and a big tent and and I started a spray tan business out of my basement basically, and just kind of word of mouth. And it actually kind of turned into a little bit of a neat little side hustle where I was just making cash. But a couple interesting things is, one, when I was envisioning this spray tan business, I never once thought of the awkwardness it's going to be between I'm spraying somebody and the person standing across from me is completely naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a good story I'll tell you later about that.
And so then that's interesting and that was uncomfortable. But then also trying to coach the person because they're uncomfortable and I need to be not like I do this all the time, especially my first one. Like this is my first.
Did they stand on like a pedestal?
So yeah, I had them on a little bit of a lift, but then also you don't want to have a little butt crease, and so trying to coach the person. Can you just step forward a little bit and just stand there? I'm serious. Like,
no, trust me, I was 350 pounds on that thing one time before with someone spraying me. I didn't know it was going to be a person. I thought it was a machine. But go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. So I was that person, but I think through this whole thing, there was just so much growth in that, like trying to say like, hey, I have this idea. I want to start a business and put yourself out that way. I made business cards and created a business name and try to putz through trying to get the business registered and all those different things. And at the end of the day, I realized that I didn't really want to scale this into something that I could finish. And so I basically just quit, which is also pushing me out of my comfort zone because I'm not a quitter. So like deciding that I'm just going to be done. But looking back on that, I was proud of myself, but also like if for nothing else, when you do those things, if you have nothing else, you have a fantastic story.
Yes, you have good stories to tell. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I always I just want to know, how red was your neck?
0. I was spray tan. Like,
you just call her a redneck. That's not nice.
That's a little. If you know Corlin, when she gets
red
flustered,
is your neck.
she gets a little splotchy on her neck.
Yeah.
Right. She's not, for the record, yes. She was not calling Corlin a redneck.
Not at all.
You won't know that unless you watch us on YouTube, though.
Yes, watch us on YouTube and you will see for yourself. That is her tell.
Yeah, no, I think I've done the cliche though too. My husband was a youth pastor for a long time, and so I helped with this. And I don't know, Jessica, if you've gotten roped any of this stuff, but I've went to camp many times with youth group kids, and there's zip lines, and there's
as in stay overnight with the kids.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. I'm good.
Sleeping on a bunk bed in a cabin with no electricity, like that kind of thing. Roughing it. And then I think like one of the, like you climb up a telephone pole and stand on the top and jump off, like those kind of things. I've done that like many times. It's just like, you just throw yourself in a harness, get up there and just hope for the best, right? Like,
no, I rode on the back of a jet ski one time.
I know, with that blonde dude on the beach.
It's like I was there.
Anyway, that was out of my comfort zone.
You have been outside. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just good.
Yeah, did that.
Well, thank you guys so much for this. So we're basically at time right now, but I just wanted to wrap up, this, I think, honestly, I always think to myself, like, what's the worst that could happen? If I'm a little embarrassed or I fall flat on my face, whatever. Did I learn a lesson? Have I had some successes? Yes. Do we grow from it? Do we learn from it? Do we maybe get a little bit more resiliency? Yeah. So I just think getting out of your comfort zone, I believe that we all do that. I think that it's important. I think everyone should. I think my takeaway really is just we all three said, it's how we grow. So I'm so glad you guys had some good stories to share.
Yeah. And I like that, hopefully we've encouraged people today to get out of their comfort zone. And, you can do that by starting your own business. You can do that by just starting a new job of something that is new to you. You could do that by skiing, right? Like we hit on some, people should have all type of ideas. And I can't wait to hear about. I want someone to call me. Someone call me, text me, whatever you want to do. Just let me know. Hey, we listened to you guys talk about getting out of your comfort zone, and you inspired me to whatever that may be. Exactly. It could be also like I'm weird with like food. Like I don't like. Oh, I did the slimy things, the inside the shell thing.
Oysters.
Yes, I forgot to tell you guys. I did that for the first time when I was in New Orleans like a couple weeks ago. It was freaking nasty.
So
I will
gross.
never do that shit
Oh, I
again.
love that.
However, what?
Yeah, I do.
So gross. At first, it's like it tastes it. No, okay, but I did it. So that's getting
Good for you.
outside. Yes, and I didn't even tell. I can't say that too loud. I didn't even tell Will because he's tried to get me, and I'm like, no. And I did it. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was pressure. I was at the table. All these people were like, do it, do it, do it.
That's
And
so
so-
funny. I have had the same thing. I remember, I'll tell you this story really quick before we wrap up. Oh my gosh, I just reminded
We
me.
thought we were wrapping
We
up. Go
thought we
ahead.
were done,
Not
but
so
no, I got
much.
one more story.
Okay.
So we had won a sales contest. This was at the company. And when we won, we were going to go out to a super fancy downtown Minneapolis restaurant, seafood thing. And so we won. And so we all get dressed up, go out to this really high end restaurant. And so the owner of our company decides to start off this extravagant evening ordering oysters on the half shell so everyone can have one and cheers this thing. And I just looked at that and it looked like a gray piece of chewed up gum on a shell with a bunch of goo in it. Like it didn't even look good. And then everyone's grabbing one like they've done this like a million times. And I'm looking at this thing. There's no freaking way I'm going to eat this. And everyone looks at me like, you have to eat it. And so everyone, like 1, 2, 3, congratulations, knocks their shells together, shoots this thing down, and I'm sitting there and the conversation goes on, and then all of a sudden the guy sitting next to me looks at me and he's like, is that still in your mouth? And I'm like,
Oh no.
I had been sitting there for minutes with this,
Shut.
and I was like,
No, I swallowed it quick because I was like, I need to get this over with.
Well, I counted to 3 like 20 times, like, okay, 1, 2, and I couldn't do it. And then once he noticed it, my eyes started watering, and I'm almost gonna throw this thing up. And
Yeah.
he looked at me like a dad and was like, "You need to swallow that right now." And I'm like, oh, and I swallowed it. I was like, it almost came right back up. It was the grossest thing, and that was the first and the last oyster I've ever eaten.
Yeah, I won't do it again.
Yeah.
I won't do it again. But I got out of my comfort zone.
Oh
See,
my God.
that's another. Okay.
Your
So I'll shut up
life
now.
begins on the other side of your comfort zone. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yes. And remember, here I go. And I was the one saying that I got to get to bed. So
Yeah.
what are we going to do?
All right. Thank you everybody for listening to us. You again, jump on our website. You can listen to our episodes. You can purchase our merchandise. You can watch us on YouTube. You can follow our Facebook page, subscribe, everything. We absolutely appreciate comments and questions and followers. So thanks everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.